One thing I can't figure out is what would an administration, what were they thinking when they allowed millions of people from prisons all over the world, not just from South America, Venezuela, all over the world, from the Congo in Africa, hundreds of people, thousands of people from the Congo, rough prisoners, from Asia, from Europe, rough parts of Europe. Why would they allow them to come into our country? Why would they do that? It's the one thing I can't figure out. And I don't believe it was Joe Biden. I really don't. I mean, look, he's been a sort of a moderate person over his lifetime. Not a smart person, but a somewhat vicious person, I will say. If you feel sorry for him, don't feel so sorry because he's vicious. What he did with his political opponent and all of the people that he hurt a lot of people, Biden. And so I really don't feel sorry for him.
That's what Donald Trump had to say when a reporter asked him during a press conference over at the Oval Office his thoughts on the announcement that former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And now, 3.5 months later, because it was announced that Joe Biden was diagnosed with prostate cancer back in May, 3.5 months later, we're trying to figure out if this is really Donald Trump. The press is telling us that this is Donald Trump, but this man is so unrecognizable that it's hard to believe that this is Donald Trump. Yeah, these photos were released yesterday. Here's the photo from a different angle. Still doesn't look like Donald Trump. And the White House has the press so far away that they have to use zoom in lenses to get a photograph of Donald Trump. The White House is telling us that this is Donald Trump. Unrecognizable. This is another photo taken of him in the back seat of the car. Of course, it's blown up. Donald Trump looks like he is on his deathbed. He looks terrible. Meanwhile, this is Joe Biden leaving church on Sunday. Bitch, he's old, but he's recognizable. Anywho, there's lots of rumors floating around because we still have not seen Donald Trump in front of the cameras for a week now. I believe somebody said since last Tuesday. The rumors are he's in renal failure. He's having kidney failure. He's dealing with congestive heart failure. He's having many strokes, or he had one huge stroke, and they've been trying to work with him to get him up to par to be in front of the cameras. The other rumors are he's in hospice, and there's all of these rumors are flying, and yet there's some weird shit happening over at the White House. This is what somebody across the street from the White House recorded.
Got another one? Let me see. Y'all let's stay in that little outhouse on the end. Oh, somebody there, right? Right now, right? Oh, there you go. You got it? You zoomed in? I guess that's one way to clean out. This is crazy, man. I know you go get a whole TV show. Can you make out what they're throwing away? This could definitely make Washingtonian proud. This This could definitely make it.
Now, the rumor is that window leads to the residence where Donald Trump and the first family lives. What could be in those garbage bags that they are throwing out of the window? Was somebody waiting down below on the grounds to get those garbage bags? And who was the one who got the garbage bags? What is in the garbage bags? Now, there's conversation also happening. The problem with that happening is that no one is supposed to be in the residence if Donald Trump is not in the residence. Is Donald Trump throwing shit out the window? Is Donald Trump in the residence? And if Donald Trump isn't in the residence, where is Donald Trump? Now, the other rumor is that Marine One, the helicopter, has been spotted leaving the White House heading to Walter Reed Hospital. If that rumor is true, was those garbage bags being thrown out the window while Donald Trump was allegedly headed to Walter Reed? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on with Donald Trump's health? What is in those garbage bags that's being thrown out the White House window? Why can't the press get in close and talk to Donald Trump? Why is the White House press not saying anything? Why aren't they pressing KKK Caroline, her lying ass? Why aren't they pressing her for answers? What is going on? Last night, the White House posted this on their Instagram account.
Let me share some of the biggest lessons I've learned from a lifetime spent building dreams. First, if you think that you're too young to do something great, let me tell you that you are wrong. You're not too young. In America, with drive and ambition, young people can do anything. Second of all, and very importantly, you have to love what you do. I rarely see somebody that's successful that doesn't love what he or she does. Third thing is to think big. You know, you're going to do something, you might as well think big, because it's just as hard to solve a small problem as a big problem, and it's just as much energy and everything else, except the result is going to be a smaller one. So love what you do, but think big. Fourth is work hard. Work hard. Fifth is don't lose your momentum. You just want to keep it going, and you have to know if you are losing it, you have to know when you're losing it, so maybe you stop and maybe it's time to stop. Number 6, if you want to change the world, you have to have the courage to be an outsider. In other words, you have to take certain risks and do things a little bit differently. Otherwise, if that weren't the case, everybody would be successful. Number 7 is to trust your instincts, common sense. You can go very far in life with common sense. 8th, everybody should believe in the American dream. It's real, it's there, and it's right before you. 9th, think of yourself as a winner. The power of positive thinking. In recent years, too many of our young people have really been taught to think of themselves as victims. But in America, we reject that idea that anyone is born a victim. Our heroes are the ones who take charge of their own destiny despite the odds. And next is to be an original. The old-time greats were people who had the confidence to be a little different. God only created one of you, so don't try to be someone else. Finally, and most importantly, never, ever give up. I've learned that perseverance is everything, so whatever happens, no matter where you are in life, stay optimistic and just keep.
Now, I don't know about you, but I expected to see at the end of that video a picture of Donald Trump with his birth date and his sunset date. That's the vibe that I got from that video. What is going on? And then after they posted that, later on in the night, they posted this. Trump is set to make a televised announcement from the Oval Office on September 2nd, 2025 at 2 p.m. And baby, I can guarantee you that the entire world will be tuned in. We will all be tuned in to hear what Donald Trump has got to say. I guarantee you he won't be letting us know that he's releasing the Epstein files. Will he be resigning? There's tons of speculation that he is going to resign for health reasons. I don't believe that's the case. I believe Donald Trump has drummed up all of this speculation so that we can all get to talking about him instead of the Epstein files, instead of the tariffs, instead of inflation, instead of how other world leaders are working together against him in the United States. Yeah. He probably going to come in and say he's reducing tariffs to 10%, although a federal court said that his tariffs were illegal. I'll be tuned in, though. I'll be tuned in. I don't think he's resigning, but we shall see.